Hello, and in today's video we are doing an FPL preview for game week number 23. We're going to be talking you through my game week 22 points, what my overall rank is now, and my transfers and captaincy for game week 23. So, here we go. Let's get straight into it. I'm currently listening to FPL Juice because they're doing their amazing streamceptions stream to make things complicated with my words. But yeah, it's always great. They've got FPL Sim, they've got FPL Lucky, FPL Lucker. They've also got Stevo. So make sure you listen to his podcast, Total Stevo podcast, and of course Ash, the Luton fan. Yes, no, good old Ash. You can't go wrong with him. So in terms of my team this week, Dubravka's going to go in goal. I'm pretty certain on that. At home to Luton, because I'm not being funny. Areola away to Man United. West Ham haven't kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford in the Premier League since December 2015. So I'm fairly confident. I think West Ham, they didn't look great in the game against Sheffield United. They also didn't keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth. So I think it's worth going for the better fixture. Dubravka's got Luton at home. I know Luton just pit 4 goals past Brighton, but surely you've just got to go with Dubravka. And, you know, he has been a bit disappointing recently, Dubravka. He's only ever got points on my bench. You know, the game against Liverpool was a real kind of key moment of that. But hopefully this time, Dubravka, you can deliver the goods, all right? Not like the Nottingham Forest game where you just concede a hat-trick to, you know, a Chris Wood, or in this case an Adebayo again. So the defence then, Trippier is going to be coming in, my guy Kieran Trippier, because he's got the same good fixture, Luton at home, and you know that's good potential for attacking returns. Now Porro's got a start, obviously, because it's Pedro Porro he's still attacking. Gabriel and Saliba, I think one of them has to be benched. I think the most likely I would bench is probably Saliba, although I don't love it, just because when I compare Gabriel to Saliba, they're both playing Liverpool. Now, what happened in the reverse fix is probably giving me a bit of PTSD, but you know, obviously Gabriel scored the header and he was on my bench and it was painful. Now, not saying that will happen again, who knows, Saliba could score, but I just think when Gabriel's got a bit more attacking threat, Liverpool probably do score in that game. I'd be surprised to see Saliba get a decent points return, because it's often relying on clean sheets for Saliba returns, and then he gets bonus points if they get a clean sheet. But I think Liverpool score. And then, could I see another Gabriel bullet header? Well, he scored against Palace. He technically scored 2 goals, but the Premier League decided to change from the own goal for Dean Henderson like way later, so they couldn't change the FPL points. So that's bit of a frustrating one. Game week 21 was an okay week for me. We'll look about that in a second. And game week 22, I rolled the transfer. So we've got 2 free transfers to play with for this week. 12 million in the bank. The problem is I can't use all of that money, because if I want to get Haaland, I guess I could get KDB and Haaland if I sold, like, I don't know, Saka or Palmer or something, or, you know, Gross even. But I'm not sure I want to go for that much risk, because Liverpool have just had their double game week announced. They've got Liverpool, Brentford away, and Luton at home. And Luton's double game week in 25 is Man United away, Liverpool away. I'm not going anywhere near Luton players, no chance. That's a terrible double game week. But now Liverpool's double has been confirmed, finally. That does open up options like Jota, Darwin Núñez, but Darwin's currently an injury doubt. He might play at Arsenal, but we don't quite know at the moment. You've also got, you know, players like Trent. Well, will he be starting? Because at the moment, Conor Bradley's absolutely ripping it up. But he probably will come in, Trent, for the Arsenal game, at least a few minutes, if not from the start. But I think he's just not worth it this week away to Arsenal. So I'm looking at possibly wildcarding in game week 24, I'll be honest, because now that Haaland probably will come back by 24. You've got Salah still kind of possibly injured, but the fact that now Liverpool's double is confirmed in 25, if Salah's fit for 25's first game, Brentford, then he's a triple captain option. But the problem I've got is there's too much doubt there, and I'll probably just triple captain Haaland in 25 anyway, so I don't necessarily have to bring back Salah if I'm not going to triple captain him. But it's nice to know that we've got the triple captain option for any Liverpool player because their double's now confirmed in 25. Because it was going to be, maybe, you never know, Bournemouth might have a double confirmed in 25 with Luton, but now that double game week's going to be a bit later on in the season, you would imagine. So it's kind of not ideal, that, but it is what it is. Solanke's still a hold because he's got nice fixtures in the next two, and he's just a very solid asset in general. So my situation is there. I've got Gabriel starting, but do I bring in Taylor? Now, Charlie Taylor, the latest on him, it's not exactly that clear what the situation is with Charlie Taylor, because, I mean, this is Pep kind of influence, I think, from Pep Guardiola. He's basically had an impact on the way Vincent Kompany does team news, because we had the Burnley presser ahead of the Luton game, and everyone was hoping for Charlie Taylor news, and he just said to the Burnley press officer, "We don't give out team news in this meeting." So, and we got very little from the Man City game as well, ahead of the Man City game, and obviously Taylor was still out then. But will he be back for Fulham at home? Because Fulham, that's not a bad fixture. I don't mind it at all. But Burnley, I mean, their clean sheet potential is pretty low anyway. But I'm having a look at some kind of predicted lineups for this Burnley game. I think a lot of people are saying that he won't start. And so it's kind of 50-50. The latest on Charlie Taylor, it was the shoulder injury. And he's basically hinted Kompany that one of Jordan Bayer, Charlie Taylor or Delcroix could return this weekend. But that doesn't really help me. It's a 1 in 3 chance of guessing the right one. Now, the thing is, if Ekdal and Al-Dakhil are kind of at risk, if Bayers or Taylor are back, the question is Taylor going to be back? I just do not know. So I'm kind of looking at around the community to see what is everyone else doing, because that it's worth transferring him out, or maybe it's even worth I don't know what to do basically with him, because I don't really want to start double Arsenal defence at home to Liverpool. So let's see what people are doing. A lot of people are leaving on the bench. The issue is they've got 3 starting defenders that aren't that bad. Now, okay, it's not the end of the world having to start Saliba, but it's not ideal at the same time. So I'd rather get someone to start. But now I think about it, I mean, I look at everyone's teams and they just don't even seem to own Taylor. Maybe it's time for an Aston Villa defender. The problem is that with Liverpool's double just confirmed, I'm tempted to get Jota now. But is that just too reactionary based off what's just happened, or just stick with a plan? Because my plan was to be get in Haaland. I know, that sounds crazy. Get in Haaland. Might not captain Haaland, because maybe he comes off the bench, or maybe he does start. Maybe, we just don't know with Haaland, but we're thinking he's going to probably play Erling Haaland, and selling Alvarez is going to be tough. But it's annoying about kind of Richarlison, because he went up in price last night. Same for Haaland. I can afford it in one move because I've got 12 million in the bank, but it's just who I go with when it comes to the captaincy. So to be fair, one transfer I know I want to do outside of Charlie Taylor and midfielders like Jota, Foden, whoever, I know I want Haaland. It's a sad way to depart, because Julian Alvarez, let's get into my Game Week 21 and 22. So very quickly, Game Week 21 was very good. Ended up getting a nice points haul of 63 points. Gabriel, absolute king. He was robbed of all the points, but we won't talk about that. Then Areola clean sheet wipeout against Sheffield United was frustrating. Assist for Porro was nice against Man United. Saliba clean sheet against Palace. Should have captained Palmer against Fulham, but it is what it is. Saka blanked, although technically he didn't, because it would have been an assist if they'd have changed it in time for the Gabriel goal. Gordon, it's just what he does. Anthony Gordon, a lot of people are bringing in this week, so he's not going to be differential any longer. I got on that train game week 9, and since then he's been an absolute king, fixture proof really, especially in the home games. Might be a potential outsider for a captaincy against Luton. I don't know, probably not though. And then Gross blanked, that was disappointing. Brought him in. So I sold Salah and Son for Saka and Gross, and they both blanked, and it was painful stuff really. The front three blanked as well. So yeah, not an easy week, but still got a green arrow, and that is now, for me, 5 green arrows in a row, 9 green arrows in the last 11 game weeks. I mean, it's absolutely lovely. But as I said, I did roll the transfer in 22 because I was in a situation where I didn't want to either bench Gordon. In the end, that wouldn't have mattered because he got 1 point. He should have had an assist though, absolutely robbed against Villa. And I didn't also want to transfer out Pascal Gross because he had Luton away. In the end, it wouldn't have mattered, but again, I wouldn't have known that before. So yeah, it's one of those things. But basically, I was looking at possibly Foden, possibly Richarlison. Obviously, Richarlison did score against Brentford, so a bit frustrating that one. I'll be honest, I wasn't really looking at Jota. He did score again against Chelsea. But Foden and Richarlison has been a big kind of debate for me for a few weeks now, and I've gone with neither for a long time. Rolled the transfer, as I said, didn't want to bench Gordon or replace Gross, knowing that, you know, I'd have Gross with Palace. Not a bad fixture, but I might sell Gross this week. That's the thing. So it's a tricky one. But Julian Alvarez was my captain. Lovely stuff. Really happy to see that. 2 goals, 26 points. Have some of that. Love to see it. And I wasn't that tempted by De Bruyne. I know he started, but he only got an assist, 7 points. It's not that much of a biggie. Gabriel and Saliba clean sheet wipeout. Painful. Literally holding the Forest one, and then last minute concede. And then Areola clean sheet wipeout, of course, against Bournemouth in the first few minutes. Porro 1 pointer. Yeah, that was a bit disappointing, I'll be honest. To see Udogie score as well against Brentford was quite painful. But, you know, hopefully, even though Maddison's now back with set pieces and stuff, Porro will still get points. Obviously, Maddison can take the corners now. Palmer 2, blanked against Liverpool. To be fair, didn't expect much from that fixture. Saka 10 pointer, love to see it. Come on, you little legend. Finally repaying it from last week. And yeah, nice to see that against Forest. Gordon 1 pointer. Robbed of an assist against Villa. How that isn't an assist after it comes off the bar via the shot from Gordon and then falls there kindly for Fabian Schär. I don't know. It should have been an assist in my opinion. Then you've got Pascal Gross. He blanked against Luton. Yeah, not good for Brighton at the moment. And I think I have to probably sell Pascal Gross. Watkins did get a goal finally against Newcastle. That was lovely to see. And then Alvarez, very good. And Solanke also scored against West Ham. So all in all, very good week. Shame about Trippier assist on the bench, but it is what it is. Taylor also didn't play. And then Dubravka 3 points. So he ended up matching Areola again. So yeah, not a bad week. Up to 1299 overall points. An overall rank of 218k. And so the climb starts now, people. The climb starts now. Right, so in terms of transfers then, I think defenders is probably where I need to go because of the Taylor situation. I really wish that he was fit, but we just don't know that for a fact. And even if he is, there's no guarantee he keeps a clean sheet against Fulham. So I'm going to transfer out Taylor. Oh, the thing is, if I wildcard next week, which is a possibility, I want to have used all my transfers. Now, I know that people say around 24 you need 2 free transfers, so I could do one and roll the other. But I'm going to want to use both of them this week. I just got to play with things. I've got to experiment. So, Taylor is leading the team. Or I could sell one of Gabriel Saliba. That's also a possibility. But I think going forward, they're worth keeping. Like Arsenal fixtures. Okay, Liverpool this week. But then you've got Burnley in 25. Sheffield United in 27. Obviously, they'll probably get wildcarded out anyway. So, is it worth selling them now? I mean, it's not the end of the world. But if one of them scored, Saliba or Gabriel, or Arsenal kept a clean sheet, you know, I'll be gutted to transfer them out. But having them on my bench at least means I can keep them for future weeks if they start doing better than I expect. So I think Taylor's the one that's got to go. I think he's got to go, Brev. So Taylor's going out with the injury doubt. And therefore, we're going to use some of that money. We're going to do Haaland in because it's Erling Haaland, and I've been pretty set on this move for most of the week, to be honest. Haaland is in for Alvarez. So, the question is, people, am I dodging another midfielder again? Or do I go for a Liverpool player. Now, I could go for Trent. The issue with Trent is, well, it's not really much of an issue, but if I'm wildcarding next week, which is not a guarantee, but it's a possibility, if the answer to that is no, you're not going to wildcard, then that means you're not going to have a Liverpool player. Well, you could get in for Saka, to be fair. That's not the end of the world. But Saka's got West Ham next week, I think, and yeah, to be fair, Liverpool have got Burnley. So I could do Saka for Jota next week, which is fine. Away at Arsenal is not an amazing fixture for Liverpool anyway. Or I could wildcard them in. So it's flexible. So basically, I've got a chance to have a bit of a punt here, a little differential. Now, Trent is not that, and away to Arsenal is not the best of fixtures. We don't even know if he's going to start. So I'm not going to go for Trent, as tempting as it is. I'm going to go for a differential defender that could have a bit of upside. So let's have a little look at some differential defenders then, with some upside. So who we got here? We've got people like Fabian Schär, could be decent at home to Luton, although that would mean tripling up, and I actually am already on triple Newcastle, so I can't do that. We've also got Romero, but I'm not too confident of Tottenham keeping a clean sheet against Everton. Man City defender, but they just always concede. Who else have we got? Possibly Alfie Doherty, but again, this week the fixture is not ideal away to Newcastle. You could go for I don't know. The defenders are actually a bit more slim than I'd anticipated. A Villa defender could be a shout. That could be a shout. What about Pau Konza? No, Ezri Konza. He's not got a lot of attacking threat, admittedly, but there's a good chance of a clean sheet there, I think. Or I could go for Luke Shaw at home to West Ham, because he got an assist against Wolves last time out. 3.3% owned. Do I think that West Ham score? Probably do, actually, so maybe not. And he's, not doing too well this season, Shaw, for FPL points. It's a tricky one, actually, because there's a few different options I could go for. But you know what? I'm liking a bit of Ezri Konza. I think he doesn't get a lot of goals, I'll admit. Just the one assist this season. But you know what you're going to get with him? He's going to start every game, unlike someone like a Luka Dean or a Moreno. And he's just a solid player. And if Ezri Konza ends up scoring a goal, then that would be absolute scenes. So, those are the transfers. To avoid a benching headache, we're not going to sell any of our midfielders again, because we don't want to bench them. Now, hopefully Pascal Gross comes through against Palace. I'm going to be patient for one more week, and then he's out on the wild card if I wild card, or if not, on free transfers for next week. So, yeah, I'll probably do like a Gross to a Jota next week. That's probably what I do. And then just keep Hwang for 26 when he's back from Asian Cup. So yeah, those are my transfers. They're pretty boring because it's the defender and Haaland, who are pretty template. But I'm just holding off the temptation of those midfielders. The Liverpool players, I can get them in the wild card anyway. Away to Arsenal is not essential, but yeah, it's interesting stuff really. So this is the situation. Taylor and Alvarez out for Konza and Haaland. 2 free transfers confirmed. Now, the question I've got for you people is, what do we do about a certain captaincy pick? Because I'm not sure. I'm looking at Palmer thinking that could be nice. Haaland, it looks obvious, but not necessarily guaranteed for me to do that. Obviously, Pascal Gross is still differential, so if he could get some returns, that would be nice against Palace. And then he leaves my team on a high, but I'm not going to captain him. I've looked at Gordon, possibly, but I think that's just a little bit too punty. So it's between, I think, Palmer, Solanke, Watkins and Haaland. Now, I don't know if I've invested enough in City, because obviously I had Alvarez last week. I've transferred him out for Haaland. Foden, he's all right. He gets the odd assist here. He's not the most explosive, so I wouldn't captain him anyway. De Bruyne is quite a lot of money, and I'm not too sure if he's going to massively deliver. You know, got an assist against whoever it was, Burnley, but I don't know. It's a lot of money to pay for the odd assist here or there, or the odd 12-pointer like against Newcastle. So I don't love the only City one player, but I don't mind it as well. Now, I think that it's worth going for a midfielder most weeks because they get the extra point for the goal and the clean sheet. Now, Palmer, I just don't know if I can read him because he does rely a lot on penalties for returns. And Haaland is Haaland at the end of the day. I thought about Watkins, but I just think the blank against Sheffield United in the reverse fixture is too much in my head. The low block, it might be a bit of a tricky one. Solanke at home to Forest is tempting though. But I think I'm going to go with Mr. Cole Palmer. I'm going to put faith in it. I'm going to have Haaland vice-captain in case for some weird reason Cole Palmer decides to not turn up. But I think he will. But that's what we're going for. Cole Palmer captain, locked in for game week number 23. Hope you have enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.